Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Brewed, where we tell the stories behind your favorite beer. This is Sound Guy Ryan, and joining me as always is Erica and Matt.
You should have introduced us as Erica and Matt. Sound Guy Ryan.
No,
Why? You never want to do fun things anymore.
I'm not fun.
You were fun once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
It's like when you turned a certain age, Ryan, it's just like, no more fun.
No more fun.
No more fun.
No more fun with Sound Guy Ryan.
Yeah.
Fun
no.
Ryan has left the building.
Fun Guy Ryan. It used to be Fun Guy Ryan. Now it's just Sound Guy Ryan.
You put a few beers in me, I'll be good.
Yeah, that's true. But that was an awesome episode last week. I really appreciated Maui Brewing Company. Learning about Kim's journey in craft beer, kind of going from Maui to San Diego, then back to Maui, and kicking ass.
The whole way.
Yeah, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
Ryan, did you have any good beer this weekend?
I've been drinking some Stoneface. I've been drinking some Drecker.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I have a question. Did you try the Drecker, like the fruited sours?
No.
You haven't? Have you tried them yet?
I have not.
They're crazy.
Are they crazy?
Yeah, like blueberry banana, like smooth.
Isn't this the one you had last week?
But I had it cold.
Oh.
I will let you know that it's a lot better cold.
Imagine that.
Yeah, no shit. But
What a concept.
not to interrupt, but that Drecker beer was like pretty cool. I did not imagine all of those flavors to like combine and be like,
Yeah.
yeah, chonk. I had chonk as well.
Nice.
Yeah, what a name.
Other than those, I had a spruce tip over at Sylvaticus. They brought the
they're
spruce
coming
tip
out. Whoop, whoop.
over in the summertime, which was pretty great.
Welcomed.
Yeah, it was very welcomed
How's this
because
year's-
usually it's like the winter, you know.
Yeah.
But no, it hit the spot, and this is, I think, their best one yet.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Damn it. I can't wait to try it. Let's go after this.
Definitely.
No.
Definitely. Myself, I've been having. I actually had Hoot. Had a bunch of.
Oh, I love Hoot.
Yeah.
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 You get
Nice
those
just
over at the
seltzer.
Brado food truck?
Well, that's where I had my first one, and I was like, oh, these are good.
Yeah.
Like they're nice and dry, crisp, refreshing. Not like sweet and gross or whatever. You know, they're just really nice. So
Yeah.
My mom likes them. I
yeah.
brought her to the one in Boston.
Yeah.
The Lovejoy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lovejoy. Like that's all she had all
Yeah.
night. It was
No,
great.
they're so good. So I like a bunch of those over the weekend.
Yeah.
So many good flavors. I love we got their tropical mix pack. So
Oh,
good.
nice.
Oh yeah.
So I went to Notch this weekend. Surprise, surprise. And I went to Mass Landing. I went up to Portland.
I
So I went to Sebago
know.
Brewing in Mass
Alright.
Landing. But I do have to just give a huge shout out to Notch. I was able to go to their event last Thursday for the beer release for Women in Beer.
Whoop, whoop.
And it was awesome. Not only was the Raw's Power beer awesome, that beer was great. I had, I think, what is going to be my summer beer alert.
Oh.
So anyone looking out there to have a very, very refreshing beer, the Hefeweizen that they are selling at Notch right now, and I'm hoping they're selling it all summer, is, if I was on Untapped and all those stupid fucking apps, would get a 5-star, a 10-star, the best rating you could ever give it.
Damn.
It was so good. And that's not to knock any other breweries. And it was perfect. It was like 60 degrees out. I had a pretzel with a little bit of butter and that beer cheese and the Hefeweizen. I'm
Okay.
telling you, I got a bottle for both of you, and I'm so excited to see you guys drink it because, like, it's so much better on tap, but it is still amazing in bottle.
Nice.
Amazing.
I'm
Yeah.
sold.
And Mass Landing was awesome. I introduced someone to their first Gunner's Daughter.
Ooh.
And they had Gunner's Daughter on Nitro, which I got to try. And
It's a
Probably
completely
amazing.
different beer.
who would have thought in 90
Completely different
degrees,
beer.
Gunner's Daughter on Nitro would be a great choice? It was.
Yeah.
But they are making a lager now that I got a 4-pack for you guys as well.
Sick.
And their lager is really, really good. And the main beer scene is just so awesome. All the people are super nice there. We were shooting the shit about hockey because it was on the screen, and then NASCAR came on. It was just nice people. Sebago Brewing was a lot of fun too. I had beet fries,
Delish.
like French fries as beets. Awesome.
Or beets as French fries.
Beets as French fries. So yeah, it's like I'm going out for the Brewers crew where
You
like
are.
a whole year and a
You're
half I
killing
was
it.
not to be seen. And it's so funny, Ryan, when I went to the Notch event, Brittany from Night Shift was like, where's sound guy Ryan? And then I was like, oh, he's at home, because they knew Jenna.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, who are you? It happened again. Nobody recognizes me, which is great. I love that. I love that so much.
That's
I'm
awesome.
sorry.
No, it's actually really good. But yeah.
Nice.
We have an awesome episode for you this week. Our friends at Widowmaker, Vox and Hops Podcast, and Neil from Gilded Skull are releasing a beer in orders with the band Summoner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
Summoner.
Summoner.
Yes.
Yes.
Not Summoner.
We didn't do it that time, but I'm glad that you did it.
I know.
And it's awesome. I'm very excited because the release party is tonight, and hopefully you will see me there. Ryan, you going to come for the car ride?
Maybe.
Maybe. Erica?
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. So if you see us there, we'll hang out, and Ryan will chug a beer with you.
There you
So until next week.
go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So we're here at Widowmaker Brewing Company, and we're not interviewing just Widowmaker, and we're not interviewing just Gilded Skull. We also have a band. We're interviewing a band for the first time as well, and another podcast. What the fuck is 2021 anymore?
This is crazy.
And it's cool because we're all together, and COVID doesn't feel like it's a thing right now, which it still is, kind of, but not today. Imaginary world.
It's pretty amazing.
We're all vaxxed up.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's cool because I started interviewing bands in college, and I feel more comfortable interviewing bands than breweries sometimes, but we're going to do both.
Let's see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what
We're
we'll
gonna roll
see.
with it.
So we got approached by Neil a couple weeks ago, and this like a month ago, talking about, he's like, Matt, I have something on the DL, and you do that a lot with me, and I can't tell your secrets all the time, but whatever. This one's a bad kept secret now. But he approached us about doing an interview with the Vox and Hops podcast, and I've heard of Vox and Hops podcast because, quite frankly, it's a badass concept. We're going to talk about metal and beer. Like I think everyone at this table can agree those usually go pretty good hand in hand, whether you're brewing, just chugging beers, or going to a show. So I was like, yeah, I'm all on board. So now we're here at Widowmaker. And who are we with? Who's at the table right now? Do you want to introduce yourself?
My name's Chris. I'm the head brewer at Widowmaker.
My name is Ryan. I am the founder of Widowmaker.
My name is AJ, and I am the representative of Summoner, the band involved in this ordeal.
The band.
I'm Neil Cade. I am the sole proprietor of Gilded Skull.
And who are you joined with on the other end?
I am Matt McGackie, the vocalist of Cryptopsy and the host of the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast. Very stoked to be here tonight. I wish I was there in person, but the internet is allowing me to be there with you, and I'm stoked about that.
Yeah, we're stoked as well. I think this is a very cool concept. So, Matt, do you want to talk about the collaboration beer that you, Widowmaker, and Summoner, and Gilded Skull are doing?
Yeah, it's super cool. I'm very excited about this Vox and Hops Brewtal North America. We have paired metal breweries with past guests of the podcast, the Vox and Hops alumni, to create killer collabs for their bands. But it's not only just the same collab for all 23 of them. It's all unique collabs. So we paired together and we had meetings where we discussed exactly what style of beer really pertains to each band and what fits with each brewery. And then we are going forward and we're releasing them all the last week of June, just about from the 21st of June to the 25th. All 23 collabs will be dropping all across the United States and across Canada. I'm super stoked. This one is a special one because we have actually all never met in person before this beer came to life, and it's a
Says
unique,
you, man. We're all here
special
together.
Yeah,
But for me, on the Vox and Hops perspective, whereas I haven't interviewed Widowmaker, I haven't interviewed Gilded Skull as of yet. I actually haven't even interviewed AJ as of yet, but we do have one in the works. So he is a pending alumni, which makes this a viable Brewtal North America.
I'm going to get on that bandwagon.
get on it. Yeah. So I'm curious. You reaching out to breweries, kind of like cold calling breweries across the country. Obviously, being in Canada, you have somewhat of a knowledge of breweries across North America. But what made you choose Neil? I know that you guys first had your dialogue together.
It was very special, and it got to a point where at first I was like, I want to do 10 of these. I'm going to get 10 collabs because basically I want this to translate into a festival next year where Brewtal North America are actual shows and will become like Brewtal Los Angeles, Brewtal Montreal, where I will have actual gigs happening with collabs made for the clientele, for the people coming to experience the shows. So as I hit 10 and then I just kept asking, there's a lot of Quebec. There's 9 breweries involved from Quebec, where I'm from, because I asked every metalhead brewer or brewery that I knew from here, and they just all said yes. So everyone just kept saying yes. So I was like, okay, I'm from Canada, right? So here we buy beer when you're learning to drink. You buy it in a 2-4 pack. So I wanted to hit that 24 number of collabs for Brewtal North America. So I was getting close to the magic number of 24, and I just started asking people that I knew followed me on Instagram, that I saw worked in breweries. They seemed a bit metal. I sort of got a bit more permissible on the metal brewery part as I kept going. So I reached out to this guy named James Olson, and we tried to get this to work out. And James is the one that introduced me to Neil. And Neil hustled and pushed really hard because I didn't know. Neil was all in, but I didn't know that he was a contract brewer. Which was a very funny conversation when we had that conversation. I don't know if you want to pick up that side of the story, Neil.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was definitely all in. I'm a metal-focused brewery, and I was all about it. But, yeah, the contract situation made it a little hard. The host brewery that I work with is in the process of expanding, and they're opening a second location. So much of their capacity right now is kind of focused very much inward. So I couldn't really do it myself, at least not in the way it needed to be done. So like the first thought I had was, well, I know another fantastic brewery that is really into metal, and that's when I reached out to Ryan because I knew we would knock it out of the park.
And here we are. And then Ryan brought in Summoner, which I thought was amazing too, because I was trying to pair. I wanted the bands to be there. I didn't want to put people from across the states together. I wanted to make relationships, have people be together, brew the beer together, create something together, share in the passion of metal and craft beer. So that's why I wanted the bands to be in close proximity to the breweries, or at least to be able to be there on brew day, canning day, coming up with the recipes. So Ryan's the one that brought in Summoner and AJ. And he was so excited. I was like, yeah, let's just do it. I'll interview him later. He'll become an alumni. I'm cool with that. Let's get this project moving.
Details.
So AJ, I'm curious, have you ever been a part of something like this? I mean,
No, nothing like this at all. We've done beers with breweries before, but never at this capacity where we're like involved in the actual kind of, as much as we can be involved in the process, I guess. But all of this leading up to it, being there for the brew day, canning, all of that. So we've had other beers done that were kind of themed on Summoner albums, songs, things like that, but nothing quite like this. This has been really cool so far, and I look forward to what's to come.
Yeah. So on the Widowmaker side, obviously no brainer to do something like this.
Yeah, I mean, when Neil reached out, I mean, I was obviously aware of Neil's brand, and Matt and from Vox and Hops had reached out, and it seemed like a great concept. And we had to make sure a few things on our side worked. Everything Widowmaker does needs to be personable, and we need to be behind it. And once I talked to Matt, I knew that it was genuine, and we were all coming from the same point. Everybody loves music. Obviously, if Widowmaker, we have a lot of musical themes in our beers and branding, and it was just it kind of worked. And then there was another band involved, and that didn't work out. And I had known AJ for a long time, and always kind of joked about doing a beer with him at some point. And hopefully this gets a new Summoner album, because that's really all I want at the end of the day. Or at least I get to start a band with AJ.
I like it.
That's what we're hoping for that exclusive content that I'm looking for. have you guys jam it out in the brew room.
There you go.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. It happened on Tuesday. We're gonna have all the.
It's gonna be real weird.
Totally different band. Just totally different band. Just
So
strangers.
We're brewing the beer this coming Tuesday, and we're gonna have a bunch of amps and drums set up, and
Go
pay
ahead.
attention to the brewing day if you want, or just come play music with the one beat I know how to play.
That's amazing because we're doing mini documentaries of each collab, where from the A to Z, the creation of the beer, and then we've asked all the bands to supply us with some exclusive content, and it's really up to them. It could be anything. It could be a playthrough. It could be them just sitting there explaining the lyrics to a song. Anything special that they want to share with their fans, a little extra glimpse of promotion for themselves is what I've asked them to provide me with. So just them being creative and working together, I think it's an even better collab.
The thing that immediately kind of gravitated me towards this collab, because we've covered a couple Widowmaker collabs, and
This is our
Remnant.
third
Yeah.
Widowmaker episode,
Yeah.
I think, right?
is you guys don't just do collaborations for the fuck's sake of doing collaborations, and I'm gonna
Not
say
true.
it honestly.
Oh, then I'm out. This is ridiculous.
I think you guys, when you do collaborations, it's pretty methodical, and you don't just choose anyone who reaches out.
No, if that was the case, all we would do is collabs. I mean, I think we've shown a willingness to do collabs, and that kind of influences a lot of people to reach out and, hey, I'm in the area, let's do a beer, or a local brewery, and they think just, hey, can I come Tuesday and brew a beer? And that's not the way we like to do it. We like to do things, like I said, we want to be intertwined. We want to be personal with who we're doing beer with. We want there to be a reason for who we're doing beer with, and we do a lot of collabs. I would say more than most breweries, but we open this place to have fun and enjoy ourselves. Chris and I both come from being in bands growing up in our 20s, traveling, touring, and I think that breeds collaboration, and I think that having fun is kind of like the most important part. Like, I left a corporate world job to open a brewery, and if I'm not having fun, I'm not really interested in doing it. So this is cool. My buddy AJ sitting next to me, and instead of being
Second choice.
second, nobody else in the band would
To
show up.
reiterate,
My first choice.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. It's like, I don't know, we kind of came up playing shows and stuff. It's like you cut out the show part, and it's just when you're drinking in the parking lot. Like, that's the whole collab.
Yeah.
Do that with breweries, and,
My favorite part of the show.
yeah, it's everyone's favorite.
And that kind of inspired this beer.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's too quick to transition to what we're brewing, but we're brewing a Kolsch. And AJ is not a fan of IPAs, and we brew a lot of IPAs, so we're happy to try to
No, we were stoked.
put something different on the schedule. And Chris and I, talking before we got on the original call, when we were kind of doing some recipe development or talking about what we wanted to brew, the question was, well, what do you want to drink at band practice? What do you want to drink? If you're in a shitty little dark club, what's the beer you want? You want something crushable? You want something light? And a Kolsch definitely answers that for Chris and I. So we were happy to bring that to the crew.
Glad you weren't like a 12% pastry stout, because that would have.
At least it wasn't like a warm PBR.
For the record, I'm not the only person in the band who doesn't like IPAs. So
It's cool.
Joe, who is the other guitar player, and my brother-in-law, he's not a fan of the IPAs either. So I'm not taking all the blame on this.
Yeah.
But just some of them.
We all hate it.
Some of it.
Don't say that too loud. But said that. I mean, Matt, was it pretty refreshing that Widowmaker and Gilded Skull was like, we don't want to do an IPA, or a lot of the breweries doing IPAs?
There are a few of them, but a lot of people are just doing very different things. And it's so funny that I grabbed some beers before sitting down here, and I'm actually drinking a Kolsch.
Oh,
I think
nice.
is hilarious,
Perfect.
which is awesome. But no, there's it's all across the board. We got some fruited sours. There's some IPAs gone, of course. But there's a lot more crushable ones than you would think. I think there's, out of the 23, there's a good 4 of them that are low ABV crushers.
Nice,
So
nice.
Perfect. I mean, this beer's
I
coming
think
out
it's
the
the new
week.
trend.
It's coming out the week before July 4th. Hottest
Mhm.
time of the
Yeah.
year.
It's
Like,
that time of year.
Plus, it's cool. It's cool to do something out of our wheelhouse too. We've brewed stuff similar, but I don't know. It's just nice to change it up a little bit. And most of our customers know us for the IPAs, but we were stoked to take on something new and to collaborate with another brewery on it and just kind of try something different.
Definitely
Makes it more fun.
So we've kind of hyped up the beer, but before we do so, we need to do a quick sponsor bump, and then we're going to talk about the beer on the other side.
We're all up for doing bumps, dude.
Yeah.
Did you know that your favorite Massachusetts breweries use hops from a local family-owned hop farm right here in Massachusetts?
Our friends over at 4 Star Farms are there for you whether you're a commercial brewery or a small batch home brewer.
Make sure to head over to their website today and get your hands on some of the best and freshest hops available locally. Cheers.
At our local homebrew shop, Beer and Wine Hobby, you can get everything you need to make beer, wine, cider, cheese, and more. Not sure where to start? They have knowledgeable staff there to help. Beer and Wine Hobby is family-owned and located in Danvers, Massachusetts. Visit their website, beer-wine.com, and use our promo code BREWROOTS for 10% off your online order today.
Shirts on Tap is the box subscription service for craft beer lovers. Each month, Shirts on Tap partners up with 7 different breweries from across the country and collaborates on a sweet custom shirt design. We've been teamed up with Shirts on Tap since the inception of the podcast and are proud to announce a new promo code for all of our listeners. To get your first shirt for $5 off, go to the link in our description below and use the promo code. And remember, drink better beer, wear better shirts.
Are you a solo artist, band, podcaster, or anyone else who needs recording services?
Well, we got a place for you where your vision can become a reality.
Welcome to Small Pond Studios, built by hand with heart and sweat equity by musicians for musicians.
Go to smallpondstudios.io to reach out to get more information. And make sure you let them know that Brute sent you. Hey, Sound Guy Ryan here. Didn't know if you heard, but we're a part of the Hopped Up Network. There you'll find other informative podcasts about beer. So go ahead, follow them on social media, and visit them on their website, hoppedupnetwork.com, to learn more about the people, beer, and breweries from around the country. And until next time, thanks for listening. Cheers.
All right, so we're back. We were kind of hyping up the beer before, so let's talk about the beer. What's the name of the beer? And we know it's a Kolsch, but what's the name?
The name of the beer is Riff Cannon.
Nice.
Just Riff Cannon, right? Yeah, not like Riff Cannon beer.
That's all it needs
just
to be.
Riff Cannon, which
That's it.
is our original name. It was the original name of Summoner when we started way too long ago as a band. We were originally called Riff Cannon. We started as just kind of a, I wouldn't say joke, but we didn't take ourselves very seriously at all. We had a lot of fun doing what we did, and for a couple of years we were called Riff Cannon. We even put out a record as Riff Cannon called Mercury Mountain, which it was always fun to go back and listen to. But yeah, and then Ryan wanted to kind of go back to that and pay homage to the original.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's a lot of listeners on our end who know who Summoner are, but there are some who don't.
I wouldn't say that. Probably not very many. I wouldn't go that far.
All right. Nobody knows who
Nobody
knows. Can you give us like a little bit about Summoner, when you guys started? And
I can't really remember what year it was we started, but it was a long time ago, 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago.
Cool.
Like that, yeah. Started by just basically I met Scott Smith, who was our original drummer, who's still a close and dear friend of mine. Met him just through hanging out in Boston. Alston. Anybody who's been in Boston knows the Alston College kind of scene there.
Basement shows,
all that good stuff. Yeah, we worked together. Found out we had a lot of common interests in music. Started jamming together, and then he introduced me to his friend Joe, who was away in the Army at the time. They had this crazy idea for this crazy ignorant rock and roll band called Riff Cannon. Fast forward a few years, we got Chris Johnson, bass player and vocalist, involved, and we started playing music. Put out our first record as Mercury Mountain as Riff Cannon. Quickly after that, tried to shop around to labels, things like that. Found out that a lot of labels didn't like the name Riff Cannon. In fact, they straight up told us,
Wow.
Your music's great, but
Are you
the
a
name's
Kolsch?
ridiculous.
That's a better name for a Kolsch.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
They say,
yeah.
"You
What are
should
you
brew a
doing?"
beer." Yeah. So anyways, we before we put out our second record, we changed the name of the band and never looked back. And we've been jamming together ever since. We've got 3 more albums this summer. Most recent is an album called Beyond the Realm of Light. We put out just put out a live thing, and we've been on a couple compilations.
Nice.
What Magnetic Eye calls the Redux series. Or, doing Pink Floyd tunes and
Rad.
Black Sabbath tunes and
Nice.
doing songs we really probably shouldn't cover, but
But do anyways. Cool.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool that you guys are going to all collaborate together. Do you have a playlist ready, or is it just going to be like you guys jamming and whatever the fuck is playing that day is what's playing?
As far as jamming goes, I have no idea. We have a playlist already on it. They're pretty regular
Ooh,
on the Taproom playlist or whatever. But yeah, I think if we're gonna jam, it's just probably gonna be a lot of nonsense. We don't have any big plans right now. But
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably listen to a lot of riffs.
A lot of riffs.
A lot of jaw.
Yeah.
riffs firing from cannons. And,
We have a playlist on our Sonos that's just called the Riff Mix.
Yeah.
So we might just throw that bad boy on for you guys.
Beyond the Realm of Light is on there.
For sure.
Love it.
Yeah, so we can expect this beer to drop just before July 4th. And is it going to be canned?
Sure will be.
Yep.
So, and is it distribution, or is it only going to be in available?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be definitely available at the brewery. If it gets any distribution, it would be on the South Shore of Massachusetts and maybe a little bit throughout the state, but not much. With beers like this, we try to keep in-house and have fun with it and let people have it here.
Yeah. How large of a batch are you making of it?
It'll be a 15 barrel. If more people knew who Summoner were, it'd be a 30 barrel.
Oh.
That's
hurts, man. So do better.
If it was, if they stayed Riff Cannon.
I encouraged all the breweries to keep it small, keep it hype.
It was just because Metallica couldn't do it. That's what Summoners.
No, it's going to be a 15 barrel batch, which
cool.
is a good amount of
That's
liquid
decent,
of
for
this
sure.
beer, and it'll definitely be on tap at our beer garden in Quincy Center. It'll be on tap at our friend's beer garden down in Hull at
What?
Paragon Park.
Nice.
So it's definitely, I think, a perfect time of year for this beer to come out, and we're going to kind of just celebrate how much we like Summoner, how much we like Gilded Skull, and our new relationship with Matt at Vox and Hops.
Yeah.
Love it.
And we're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. Matt, I certainly
excited.
think it's really cool what you're doing. I'm excited to hear about the festival next year, and it's going to be fucking badass in my opinion.
My goal is this. It starts this way to create relationships across North America, and then you can take it the next step to in person having actual shows. Because when I organized this, I've been organizing this since February.
Oh wow.
I wasn't imagining gigs coming back this summer as quickly as they have been. So I was imagining there wouldn't be any shows until next year. So I'm definitely excited that so many people are working together for the love of life, metal, and craft beer. It's just so exciting. And we have some sponsors that have jumped on, which I would have never imagined, but they're all on board. We got Indie Merch, who's involved as the main sponsor. We got Heartbeat Hot Sauce, who have rebranded their spiciest sauce, the Scorpion sauce, and they're shipping out to each brewery a case for the first clients that arrive to come take away their cans. You're going to leave with a full-size Heartbeat hot sauce.
Wow.
Brewtal North America branded Scorpion hot sauce, which I think is super cool, and it's got the can label art on it. It's amazing. And we also have Yakima Chief Hops. I have a good friend here in Montreal that is a huge metalhead. I've had him on the podcast before, Luc Beaulieu, that I hit up and asked him. I was just telling him about the project, and he was like, I think Yakima can help you on this. I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's set up a chat. Let's see what's going on. And they jumped on board, and they supplied each brewery with a portion of hops for free just for being a part of Brewtal North America. And I think that's just insane. So very excited to see all of these people. You know, it's going to be like over 250 people working together to spread life, metal, and craft beer across North America for Brewtal North America. It's just incredible. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So we want people to ultimately get their hands on this beer and support all the people, the great people in this room. So, Ryan, do you want to start with, how to get to Widowmaker, where you guys are physically located? And
Sure. We're at 220 Wood Road in Braintree, Massachusetts. It's just off the 93. It's off 95. It's off 128. Central location. Come get your cans. We'll be playing Summoner all day that day for sure.
Nice.
I think Matt, correct me. We're doing some live stream of all the breweries doing it. So I'm sure we'll have.
There is a wrap party happening on the 25th.
So I think we'll.
Hold on, my brain's not working. On the Saturday, which is the 26th,
So close.
the 26th of June, there's going to be a wrap party, a massive Zoom hangout where everyone's invited, whether it be the brewers, the band members, the Vox and Hops heads.
So we get some friends. We get some friends. I know Bone Up's doing one, and I think
Nice.
the last time we were on the Brew Roots podcast was with Bone Up and Remnant, and I know we get with some mutual friend. We got a Wake who's doing it, doing a beer. So like a lot of cool people who make a lot of cool beer and support a lot of music, and we're psyched to be part of it. So 220 Wood Road, we're probably releasing it like that Friday the 25th, if that's the date, and get down here and buy it, man. Let's.
Do it.
yeah,
Me and Chris are gonna drink it all.
Yeah, for sure.
where are you located on social media so people can follow you and find out more about the beer? Because they're not going to remember this. They'll write it down and forget.
We're Widowmaker Brew on all platforms at Widowmaker Brew. You can get weekly updates on what we're releasing that week. We're always doing new stuff, different stuff, having fun with our labels.
Definitely a lot of metal themed beers.
For sure.
Yeah.
That regularly put out.
I think it's a weekly game. A lot of our customers play on like which
Is it
band we're referencing or ripping off, and who's gonna sue Widowmaker this week.
Speaking of,
There you go.
Oh my
There you
god, that's
go.
a blatant ripoff.
Damn, I'm offended.
that on you.
Shit,
I wouldn't show that. They might actually get sued.
Yeah, right.
You're in the business to do.
Dude, Lars's fucking ears just perked up.
Yeah, right,
Yeah, you
right.
heard us somewhere.
Yeah.
Walked on his
Beer
grave.
sponsored by
that's
Napster.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I got on this one. I was like, they like to sue people, you know that, right?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
That's great.
AJ, where can people listen to Summoner and follow you guys on the internet?
Man, we got Instagram at Summoner Band, I believe, right? Yeah, that's it. At Summoner Band.
All right.
We have a Facebook out there in space somewhere, but I don't think we've tended to it in a very, very long time.
It's okay. Facebook's dead.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously on all platforms, iTunes, Spotify, all of those areas, Bandcamp. We're on Magnetic Eye Records. You can visit their merch store. You can visit, their Bandcamp. We're everywhere. Google Summoner Band Boston.
And I would recommend buying some merch from bands and breweries and all that stuff before we go to Neil, because the bands have not toured in so long. So buy their merch, don't just, if you stream, that's awesome, but buy the record, because it's fucking awesome. It goes into their pockets and continues them to do what they love.
Yeah, we actually, Magnetic Eye Records not just, but right in kind of the middle of the pandemic, put out the Day of Doom live series, which was invited. It was a label showcase. They flew bands in from Australia and all overseas, Europe, and we played at St. Vitus in New York, and they tracked our set. They tracked the Horse Hunter. They tracked. Who else did they track? Oh, Elephant Tree.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
nice.
and yeah. So,
Sweet.
yeah, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Check it out.
And then Neil,
Yep.
located on social media.
Yeah, on social. So Facebook, it's Gilded Skull Brewing. Instagram, which I'm way more active with, at Gilded Skull Brewing, and gildedskullbrewing.com.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And speaking of merch, Matt, and indie merch, we talk a little bit about the merch.
Oh yes, I just submitted all the merchandise to Brewtal North America today, and there will be a promo code if you check out any Vox and Hops episodes dropping throughout June. Indie Merch will be giving me a promo code where you can save some money and support the bands at the same time, because I'm pretty sure it's Indie Merch that takes the cut, not the band, when there is a promo code in effect. But there is some sick merch for Brewtal North America. My good friend Philip Ivanovic, who designed the can art, who did the artwork for the can art. There's a bunch of artists that went into working on the can art. Just set up the t-shirts today. It's super sick. Metal as fuck. Super fun. But, still accessible. And that's what I wanted about Brewtal North America to be. So come and check it out. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And then, Matt, Vox and Hops Podcast, how can our listeners go listen to your podcast? Because people want to learn more about beer and metal.
Cool, yeah. So you can go check me out on socials, which is at Vox and Hops. That's VOXANDHOPS. I got my website, voxandhops.com. That's VOXANDHOPS.com. And you can check it out. I drop at least 2 episodes a week, sometimes 3.
Oh, good for you, man. Fuck.
Damn. Yeah, we do one a week.
Yeah, we do one a week, and that's a lot. Yeah.
It's a labor of love and
no shit.
the passion of the metal and the craft beer.
Yes.
But come check it out. I got over 260 episodes that you can go back and listen to.
Nice.
And that's Vox and Hops.
Yeah.
That's
The
awesome.
future Summoner episode.
Definitely coming out.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everyone, for doing this. This was a lot of fun to see people I haven't seen in a year plus.
Or more. Yeah.
Yeah. And just make things feel a little bit normal. And I'm super excited for June 25th to get my hands on this beer. And I hope our listeners, I hope the Vox and Hops listeners, the Gilded Skull fans, Widowmaker fans, go out, grab this beer, and hopefully next year we see you in person at one of these festivals.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Looking forward to that.
we'll talk soon. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome.
Thanks. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Well, you just heard that amazing episode with us talking about Riff Cannon.
Say that again.
Riff Cannon.
You mean Riff Cannon?
Yeah, Riff Cannon.
All right.
Yeah. But huge shout outs to our friends over at Widowmaker, Neil at Gilded Skull, the Vox and Hops Podcast, and the band Summoner. We can't wait to try the beer today, which is Friday, and it's going to be an amazing weekend to drink it. So if you are out in the area, go support your local breweries, and we'll catch you next week for an amazing episode with our friends Rocket Frog Brewing Company, and they're in Virginia, where we've checked another brewery off the list, Ryan.
Yes, we have.
Well, until next week, cheers.